All right, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Ignite Initiative. I have Stephen Passanante on. Me and Steve met in our business consulting group, Business of Strength, and we became really great friends since. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is awesome. I visited Next 4, came out to RAF, and this place is awesome. Both are awesome.
Love it. How was Next 4 this morning? Was it rocking or not?
It was fun. Yeah, it was bumping.
Good
the
time?
coaches there were good. The energy was high.
What day? It's Tuesday. What did you guys bench?
We were doing some benching.
Nice.
Yeah, we benched a little bit. Bunch of burpees.
Bunch of
It was
burpees?
fun. Yeah, we had some burpees at the end.
I got to check in the programming. I don't want all that in there. You just got somebody in trouble. How was? What did you put up on the bench? Anything crazy or no?
Granted, it was all tempo. So.
I'm gonna check the cameras.
Yeah,
so
check the tape. Check the tape. Granted, it was all tempo, so it was only 185.
All right. What was the tempo?
4 up.
Damn.
Concentric.
So concentric focus.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
So we had that. It was fun.
All right. So Steve, you own American Made Performance, right? How did your journey in the fitness industry start? And then when did it become a business? All that.
So kind of my journey into the fitness industry, I really kind of kicked off with just a passion for training, wanting to get better. I had some military aspirations at the time, and I wanted to kind of work with a lot better people than just kind of doing stuff on my own. So I've always kind of been the type of person that wants to kind of like, not to say master the craft, but like really dive into it. So I went ahead and as I was training, I got my own personal training certification, started coaching at a gym. So I interned for a while, and that was right before COVID hit. So I think it was probably like October I started interning, and then I got picked up about like February, March-ish. Okay. And that's when everything kind of kicked off with COVID. Gym shut down for a couple of months. Picked up some side gigs while I was doing, while the gym was closed, and then everything kicked back up. And long story short, I was able to kind of take over the gym from the old owner.
After COVID. So it's a good time to take it over, because I feel like, at least for us, like we had like a surge of people that wanted to get back in the gym and wanted to work out at that time.
Yeah, it was.
But did they lose a lot of people like during that period? Or, like,
yeah,
what
it was
did they do?
definitely rocky.
Okay.
It was definitely rocky. Just for, like everybody in this industry. During COVID, it was a hard time, and I give them a lot of credit for being able to like kind of keep the helm and
for sure. Did they do what did they do? Like any like outdoor workouts and stuff like that, or how did it work?
There was outdoor workouts, kind of like backdoor, kind of open gym sessions, and then just trying to get back into it right after COVID was a lot of people were kind of hyped to get back into it, but you still had that group of people who were just very nervous to be around or like break the rules, so to speak. Which
is understandable at the time, because a lot of people, lost their lives and things like that. So it was a scary time for sure in the beginning. For me, it was even scarier to lose everything I've built over the last, at that point, it was like 5 years probably, right? Yeah, about 5 years. It was even scarier to lose that. So like for me, probably shouldn't say this on tape, but like we kept the door, we blocked it out in the front. I had one-on-one sessions going on at least. And then we had like a class schedule at the park across the street.
Yeah, this is exactly.
So like that's what we did, and we kind of kept the momentum going. And to be honest, like after COVID, like we probably had some of our best numbers. Like obviously we grew since, but like it was up there because we had a surge of people that wanted to come back, wanted to talk to people and be in person again.
Yep. And
I think that's what a good gym is built on, is that community factor. But everybody says community, but what is your community actually about? But yeah, Steve, tell us a little bit more about your community and about AMP. Like how does it work? How does the sessions work? Things like that.
Yeah, so AMP is all small group stuff. So we do we try to customize as much as possible to our clients in the gym. We've got a bunch of programs that really run at all times. We've got our main one, just the adult strength and conditioning. So that's like our kind of like main show event. Everybody pretty much does that. And then for whatever you want to do on the side, we have a couple kids doing some hypertrophy programs. So they just want to put on some size. A couple do powerlifting programs. I work with a lot of military and first responders. So we have a couple programs for those guys that are really tailored towards those specific needs of the firefighter, the police, the military. Cool. But the main is the like customized, like semi-private.
And it seems like you guys have a big showing of military and police department and fire department, all that stuff. How did that all start? Is that something that you always had a passion for, or is like?
Yeah, that was 100% like my passion. I absolutely loved working with those guys. I feel like it's a lot easier to like kind of resonate with them, the importance of some of the things that we do, just because it is a lot of like, not to say life or death, but definitely like up there.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And they're dedicated people, too. So, like,
Yeah, it's
probably
I don't
working
have to
with them is
motivate a lot of these kids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
that's nice.
So, like, how was that transaction of you taking over the gym? Like, explain it to me. Like, how did it actually happen? You asked him, he asked you, it kind of came together?
It was like
how
a
did
weird
that start?
Yeah, so that was a kind of a weird transition. It was just kind of known that he was like closing down. I know there's a bunch of talks with other gyms buying him out, and I pretty much just offered it up that I would like take it over for him. So I wound up kind of GMing the place. The old owner wound up moving to North Carolina. Pretty much tossed me the keys.
Was it the same name?
No.
Okay.
It used to be JVH Performance.
Okay, cool.
In,
I was curious.
Stony Point. We're in the same shopping plaza too, so we only moved down like maybe 3 or 4 shop fronts. But yeah, he wanted to move to North Carolina with his family, and tossed me the keys. I GM'd it for, probably 14, 15 months, and then I really liked it.
And then you moved it over.
And I moved over, started AMP.
Cool.
And, the rest is kind of history. We moved over to AMP with about 40-ish, 45 clients.
Okay.
And that was January 23.
Awesome. And it's good to have that. It's good to have that comfort of.
I knew there was money coming in.
Yeah,
I feel like I was able to cut my teeth a little bit for a little over a year of just like get the experience. I wasn't like super new, right? Obviously a year, you're still new, but I wasn't just caught off guard by everything.
And then you started the BOS at that time, correct? Like basically the same time.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
Yeah, if I opened in January, I was in the BOS in June.
Cool. How much has Joe, Dan, and Adam, and Big Mike been influence on you in the gym? Explain that and how it probably opened your eyes to a lot of things. Like just explain the whole process of the business of strength and how that worked.
Yeah. So entering the BOS, I needed that kind of like look in the mirror, no BS. Like, hey, like if you really want to fix what's going on, like I can't just sit around and assume I know everything. Yeah. So that was huge. All those guys were instrumental in bringing us 2 years forward. Yeah. Right. Yeah. To what we are today compared to what we were starting then. My mindset, the person that even myself becoming the business owner I am. Just super instrumental having guys like that to look up to and kind of mentor.
It's more about the mindset too. They kind of just change your thought process on things. Like you're not a trainer training clients, you're a business owner running a business. Yeah. Right? That's the biggest thing.
It's like drinking from a fire hose half the time we all meet up. But yeah, dude, honestly, it's paid off like crazy. Yeah. Absolutely.
And the people you meet in the group is awesome too.
Exactly.
Yeah, us. Us. I know you and Mike have a little thing going on, so like that's fine. Whatever you guys do, and then who else has been a really good person you met in the group that's helped you out? Because I think the power of masterminds is masterminds, right? Like in the group. So who else in the group of Business of Strength has been?
I love following along with what Derek's doing over at Rebel. Yeah. I love following that. That is just an awesome story. He's an awesome guy. Yeah. I listen to him every time he speaks. I
think everybody does.
I think it's hard not to.
He's a leader in the
group. He's motivating.
For sure.
He's motivating. He definitely, commands a room. So it's nice watching him. I love TNL and Breakthrough, all those guys. It's kind of nice to see, not too far away from where I am, where I was, to where they're at now. It's kind of like, all right, cool. I can do that too.
You hit it right in the head. That's the best part about being in a group like that, because there's people. Usually there's people below you, where you're at, above you, way above you, right? So it's like having that is huge because you can relate to the people that are right above you. They were just where you were. Exactly. And that's the importance of it. Was there any moment where you got in a group and kind of felt, because I felt like this my first time being into groups, is like where you felt a little bit like intimidated at first? Explain that moment. Were you ever like called on in the room? Because I went from being scared to being called on, 5 years ago, to like speaking at the events now. But honestly, I was scared of being called on. I didn't even know what the hell my revenue was. I didn't know these numbers at all at that point. So any moment like that happened?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like it still happens a little bit, but even like when I first joined, it was so much like I didn't know my own gym the way I needed to, and it was like I was embarrassed. But by no means, like, that's what it's here for.
But that's why you're there.
That's why I'm there.
Exactly.
I want to fix it so the next time somebody asks me that question, I'm good. I can answer.
Yeah, and I think no matter how much knowledge you gain or how successful your business gets in these groups, you have to be as open-minded as possible. Go in there like you really don't know anything. Like, that's kind of how I still go into these meetings. And we still, like, I always tell, like, my staff, like, we're sitting up front and we're learning when we're at these events. And that's what we try to do always, is just kind of just be a sponge, because there might be one little thing you pick up in a meeting that can change a big number in your numbers, right?
Absolutely.
So that's what we try to do as a group, no matter how far we've grown and things like that. Like, we're always just trying to just figure out what other people are doing and you know, what's working for them.
Yeah, fine tune the machine. You know, there's so many like little things like you said that I've just picked up of, you know, hitting up reactivations on a Sunday because everybody's fired up on Monday morning to like get into the gym, right? So it's little things that just I never would have thought of unless somebody else had that idea too.
One thing, credit to Devin Gage, when he was speaking, was one thing he mentioned was reactivations are like seasonal too. So like, know when somebody, like, their kids go off to school or something like in their personal life that happens. Like, they might be a teacher potentially. So like in the summer they're more free. So like, hit them up for reactivations at that time of the year. And I picked that up and I was like, that's a really good. It
makes so much sense.
Really
like,
good point. And I never thought about that.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's really helps. How has it been building? Because like, one of the toughest things is, and I think you're at this stage right now, is okay, your gym's rocking, you're growing your member count. We had an agreement for this podcast. You got past it, so that was awesome, and you got past that member amount. Now, this stage of the business that you're at now is like, okay, now it's not so much coaching your clients and your team. You still have to, your clients, but you have to coach your team now a little bit more and be the leader for your team. So how has that been for you, building out your staff, building out your team? What have you learned along the way?
There's so much still to learn about the, you know, kind of coaching coaches. But definitely consistency on my end of making sure that not only am I consistent, but I'm speaking with clarity, exactly what I want, and not just saying like, hey, I want you to do this, but laying it out of these are the steps to get to it. So there's no confusion. Everything's laid out. Yeah. And then this is how we're going to get there. Also sharing the vision. You know, we're bought in, right? We have our visions, and it's sometimes pretty hard to level that with somebody else that doesn't see the same light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. Yeah. You know, for your gym. And give them opportunities. Like, paint the picture that there could be opportunity. Like, for example, like Mike, which is in here, like, Mike started as an intern, right? Now he's running the show here. He's also a partner in another business. So, you know, we kind of painted the picture for him. It was like, you know, this could happen, you know, not guaranteed, of course, but, you know, happy that it did for him. And he's growing within here, but, like, there's opportunity to grow. Mm-hmm. And then even, like, we always say this, like, anybody on our team that wants to grow past and, like, you know, open up their own gym, like, we're open hand supporting them on that too. So, like, letting them know that you're not just there for them to, you know, work for you. Honestly, I feel like I'm working for them, and I'm just trying my best to get things in order for them, basically. If that makes sense. No, it definitely does. It definitely does. It's kind of like it's a good feeling when you can kind of support your coaches. Yeah. Right. You know, I've definitely made too many mistakes in my path of
can you name any like leadership mistakes that you've made?
Yeah, I've had way too many coaches at once.
Yeah,
you know, like there was no need for where we were to where we you know where we were at the time to have all the coaches that I had. Right, there weren't enough hours to go around, not enough money to go around to like keep people around. That's 100% a leadership thing of just like not knowing my numbers. Right, I was so new to this stuff. And just like I mentioned, like I'm still trying to work better on making sure that, you know, I'm speaking with a little bit more clarity to my coaches. You know, I've got Tyler and I, you know, it's kind of an easier ship to steer, and it's just two guys, but we're just talking
that way.
Yeah. It's the messaging. It's me getting better as a coach of coaches.
The tough part is keeping everybody, especially as your staff grows, is keeping everybody on the same page, speaking the same language, and speaking the same cues to people.
Yes.
That's the hard part in the fitness industry. I was actually fortunate enough, shout out to Andy Stern, to be on a call with him yesterday. He's actually very high up in Rumble Boxing. Mm-hmm. He helped open up all their locations. He actually told me he would travel there 6 months with his wife, open up locations, then leave and see. But he was saying, like, I was showing him the model of Next 4, and we were talking about expansion, and he's saying, like, you know, the challenges that I see in Next 4, and he's completely right, is, you know, you took a class this morning, so there's strength training involved. You got to actually be able to coach strength training, have good coaches, and find good people, and then pass it off the same way in different locations. Where, not to say Rumble's easier to coach or Orange Theory is easier to coach, but there's not really that much technical coaching there. It's more of a entertainment show, right?
Yep.
We're kind of a little bit of both entertainment and coaching, so we're trying to get that period of it. But yeah, he was just kind of sharing the light on that, and I'm like, okay, like we got to focus more on our playbooks and just kind of making sure the coaches are on the same page, because we did run into a little bit of a nutrition problem, and maybe that's why, right? Mm-hmm. We're not really on the same page within that, so that might be the issue. So, but yeah, so in terms of you, like, what's your plan now? Do you want to add somebody else to the staff, or how's that gonna go?
Yeah, so the plan now is to add another part-time coach, just somebody to ease them into the program. Gives me a little bit more free time on the back end, but also have somebody that Tyler can kind of, manage himself a little bit too.
Gotcha.
So that's the plan, just growth. I would love to get a second location going for AMP. We're in Stony Point, New York now. Looking at Westchester, a little bit more population.
It's right across the river, basically, right?
Yeah, so it's not too bad for us to kind of commute over. But, that's like a 2-year goal from now.
Do you have like a certain revenue goal you want to hit? You don't have to say a number, but revenue goal, you have a certain member count goal? Like, what is it? What's going to let you know that you're, okay, let's do this? Or is it a staff thing?
Yeah, so I feel like it's a mix of all three, right? I want to be able to have a good enough revenue at AMP where I can put a bunch of money aside that I know I'm going to need for marketing, personnel, equipment, a lot of stuff, because I'm very fortunate to own any money for AMP right now.
Awesome.
So I would like to be put in a good position for the next location, where we can take inevitable hits every once in a while without really kind of freaking out.
Yeah.
And then obviously that comes with staff. Either sending Tyler over to the new spot, but I'm also going to need staffing for that location as well. So it's a mix of stuff of growing myself to where I'm confident enough where I can really kind of have 2 locations.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's a tough decision. How far is Westchester from you guys? Curious.
It's super close. It just all depends on
traffic,
20
right?
minutes. Yeah, 45 minutes, 20 minutes. It all depends on where in Westchester and the.
Gotcha. Because that's a big, it's like, do you have people go back and forth? I don't know if I recommend that.
I probably wouldn't do that.
You kind of just have it, here's your spot. This is where you're at, right? Like that's kind of where I'm more leaning in favor. I've seen people do it both ways, and they made it work. I just don't know if I'm a fan of that, but could be a potential possibility. But I love that, though. I love that you're looking into the growth of it. How so far you were one of our OGs on on Ignite. How all honestly, how has Ignite helped you guys, and what areas has it helped you as a gym owner, succeed?
Just managing everything going on, right? With the growth that we've had, it's very nice to be able to get a lead come in from the website or wherever, and there's automations that go out to myself, to Tyler, and then to the client where they're getting reached out. I'm getting told about that lead, so it's not just sitting in an email inbox or in my DMs, and I gotta filter through
and probably miss
exactly. I don't want to do that, especially in that growth phase. I don't want to miss out on the opportunities to get more people to our communities, right? So that's super helpful. And then especially on the back end of just we're getting notifications when somebody's finished 2 weeks, a month, 6 months, reaching out to them and doing a lot of the nurture of everything. And then with all the events that we run, an insane amount of events at AMP, it's so much easier to have everything done through Ignite. We're able to streamline everything, see what's going on, see who's signing up for it, who's paid, whose t-shirt size is, right? It's all centered there for us, and I don't need to go on so many different websites
to figure it all out.
It's just,
Yeah, that's our main thing. I'm happy you said that. Notifications to your staff and streamlining retention. That's basically what it's for, really. That's the most use. People want to get leads, all that stuff. It's great. It's still a part of it, but streamlining the retention for you is huge.
Yeah. Oh, so, absolutely.
And Steve, I know you have a nonprofit, Strides for Service, correct?
Yep.
So how did that start? When did it start? And what are you guys doing with that right now?
So we started that this summer. Strides for Service. It's a nonprofit that hosts fitness events, rucks, walks, pop-up workouts, and it's all for us raising money and partnering up with other 501c3s that help out veterans and first responders. And we just want to do everything through the health and wellness route. The founder and myself met at a ruck he hosted in last December, and it was a 30-mile ruck through Hudson Valley. So it's going up,
nice.
Up and down the Hudson, and it was an awesome event. Him and I clicked. We talked about doing it on our own, and we just just
went for it.
Pull the trigger on it.
That's really cool. I like that. And honestly, we gotta get up to one of those events. That would be cool. Get the whole staff going up there. It sounds like a lot of fun. Another cool thing about that is they're kind of local to your gym, correct?
Yep.
So you can kind of use it as like a lead generation for you too, maybe, right?
I made my own joint venture, pretty much.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
I have, I'm getting people all the time, not only in the gym when we do like workouts and stuff, and
but even the outside ones.
Yeah.
So does that help you like build your email list?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, last year our emails were 75. I'm at almost 500.
Nice, amazing.
Right? Like
so you've basically 5 times it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I think also maybe you had growth there, but I think having a CRM organized like stores everybody in there, right? So I think that also helps. Easier. I know. It's like when I transferred over to using a CRM, I was like, holy shit, what the fuck was I doing for so long?
Collecting emails, keeping it organized, having tags to where I knew these people from.
Yeah.
It makes my life so much easier.
Yeah, and you're not like, oh, like where did I meet you from? Like you know exactly where they came in from.
Yeah, how long has this like trial or lead been sitting in this pipeline? What's going on with it? Everything's so much more organized.
Exactly. So what's your goal for Strides for Service? Like what do you really want to accomplish with that? Like do you want to grow it big, like a big following for it? Like, and who exactly are you guys donating for exactly?
So we've donated, now we've run 2 events. The first event we did was Ruck the River. That was in October. That went to reps responders.
Oh, cool.
So you guys worked with them.
Yeah, we worked with them too.
That was an awesome
people.
event.
Yeah.
We had like 160 people rucking 15 miles. That was a fun time. And then we just ran one this
how
weekend.
heavy is the requirements?
It depends. No, there's no requirement.
Everybody who wants to do it, so that's fine.
Okay, you can do whatever weight you want. I've got people just packing in snacks and water all the way to like a 35-pound bag.
15 miles.
15 miles. It's not too bad. There's plenty of rest stops. There's stations to stop.
So how long are those events? How long are those days? Must be all day.
Yeah, it's close to all day. It's a lot of stuff, especially when you're working it. It's on the back end. You're there. If we start at 9, you're there at like 5, 6, setting up, making sure everything's set, making sure all like the stations are ready. Because we break it up in like 5, 10, and then 15-mile kind of.
You want to look professional because that's like a first impression of your gym.
Yeah, you don't want to look
dumb
on that one. Yeah. So we kind of try to button that one up, and then we just did one Sunday right before the Super Bowl. There's the polar plunge in Stony Point.
Okay.
And this time they usually donate to children, so they have a group of kids that they'll pick from, and this year was 4 kids, with a lot of other stuff going on, but they were able to donate money to them, so we got 40-ish people together for a ruck.
Nice.
It was very easy. 2 miles in, we did the plunge, and then 2 miles back out. And,
how was the
plunge? It was cold, man.
I'm not about that at all.
It was cold.
That sounds a little wild.
Yeah,
you had to walk 2 miles after the plunge back? Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
It's not too bad. Once your feet warm up,
you
feel your toes again, you start
Sounds
moving.
terrible
it's
to
not
me.
too bad.
Did you, bundle up after?
Yeah. You got a pair of sweatpants, everything on.
All kidding aside, that must be really rewarding, though.
Posting
those events and just having, because, you're having fun and you're making a huge impact on people. So, I mean, you can't get any better than that. Kind of like running a gym.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So, next in store, as you kind of mentioned already, another location for AMP. Do you want to have 2 locations? Do you want to make this a thing and grow more locations? What's your goal? Because there's no problem with having one very solid location that generates a lot of profit for yourself and it's your home base, or doing the location thing. So it sounds like you want to do a couple more, but 1 more, 2 more. What's your goal?
Yeah,
do you have a goal with that, or you're just kind of playing it day by day?
I'm playing this one day by day. I plan the second one. I want the second one, and once that's established, we can work towards a third.
Just kind of go from there.
And just go from there.
Yeah.
We'll see how the second one goes, and if it's as great as I want it to be, then I can confidently put out more. I'm absolutely in for it. But I think it's just taking this one day by day, making sure the AMP in Stony Point is solid.
We'll make sure it's solid before
and we've got a good thing.
For sure.
And then once we're good, I'll get another one going.
Is there a certain member count in your head?
I'd like to be at 125 right now. We're at 106, 125.
And then you feel comfortable enough.
Yeah, with revenue coming in,
Yeah.
we've got another coach, onboarded and ready. I can feel a little bit more comfortable if we kind of mainstream there, collect some money.
Do you think you would go there or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably go there just to make sure everything's going
Gotcha.
well. Get a facility lead, and then have a coach there as well, and then kind of pull back and just do both.
Love it. Steve, for young listeners out there or people in the fitness industry that want to get into it, what's your advice to them, or even just anybody starting a business? What's your advice to them before they get started? What would you tell them if you can go back before you started?
Go back. I would absolutely get and find a mentor quick.
Yeah.
That's probably the best advice I got, and I did it immediately. And stay humble the entire time. Especially brand new, you don't know anything. Be quiet, keep your mouth shut, and just listen.
Yeah.
You know, just, you know, kind of filter feed from how much other people know.
That is key, because some people go to these, you know, you're paying money to listen, but you can't listen to other people. It's like you got to just be open-minded.
Have no ego.
Yeah, exactly.
You're there for a reason, right? You weren't asked to speak at the event. You went because you wanted to learn.
But even
It's
if you were
different.
asked to speak at events, like it doesn't mean it just means that you're speaking, but you're still there to listen too.
Yeah.
And I feel like as you grow within the mentorship groups, so that's a great advice, number one. But as you grow within the mentorship groups, the more you give, the more it really does come back to you, and it feels good to help out other people too, and help the business group, you know, out a little bit, and just kind of be another voice in the community, because, you know, I remember how it was when I was there starting out. It sucked. So just listening to people and giving them my advice too, it really feels good.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
All right, Steve. Thank you for coming on. I really
Of course,
appreciate it.
yeah. Thanks for having me, bro. It was a pleasure.